Hi everyone, today in this video I'm going to be doing an experiment for a doll wig cap. Now normally when I do a wig cap I do the where you put the saran wrap over the doll's head and then a stocking and then you put layers of glue. I was never really happy with that, and I'm going to try something a little bit different and see if I can improve my way of making a wig cap. Now here's what I'm going to be using, and it is Mould Builder. I got it at Hobby Lobby. It was for $16.99 for 16 ounces, and then I took my 40% coupon. Now then I will say with this latex that you really need to be in a well-ventilated room. It smells horrible, and I've already tried it, and the way that I'm going to be using it, I found that I'm not getting the smell. But I wanted to put that out to you, that if you leave the jar open or you're using quite a bit to where you are really smelling it, make sure you're in a well ventilated room. Okay, it is a liquid, and I'll show you what it looks like. It's really thick, and I have my doll head molds. We always used to use green soaps as a mold release. Now I found that just by using your regular dish soap, it works out just as well. I have a little bit here. I've used Joy, but I think you can use any kind. And the thing of it is that you don't want to saturate your doll head with this. You just want a nice thin coat, because if you get too much on it, what's going to happen is the Mould Builder the latex is going to just all bead up. So I'm going to just lightly rub that on there, and I'm going to actually bring the wig cap down further. I'm going to make it bigger. Make sure that you got it on there. Now I did do a test to where I just put it on straight on the polymer, and I only put one layer on and it did peel off, but I just feel a little bit better putting this on for right now. Maybe when I get more familiar with that, I might leave this out. Okay, I think that should be good. Now I have to be really careful with this because my crown isn't attached, so I'm going to have to play around with that and kind of hold that in place. Let me put just a little bit more right in here. Okay, when you apply the Mould Builder, if you haven't ever used this before, you do it in very thin layers. And the first layer you want really thin. To speed up the drying process, I found by using just a hair dryer works the best, and it does dry it quickly. So I'm going to take a makeup sponge, and you only need a small amount because it is a small doll head, so we don't need too much. Okay, I'm going to kind of hold that crown in place, and I'm going to take my first layer, and because I'm going to make it much larger, it's going to go down on her forehead. And I just kind of like wipe it on it. You might even also want to wear gloves using this if you get it. I have a tendency to get it on your hands. I want to just put that out, even though I'm not using gloves. I just want to put that out there that it wouldn't be a bad thing to do. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit more. Now, I seen on the internet, it said that you can even use a heat gun to do this, but it also says that a hairdryer works just as well, and the heat gun you could accidentally burn it. So just in case you were thinking, can I use that? If it were me, I would most definitely use the hairdryer. Okay, now this doesn't have to be, a perfect design. I just want to make sure that I get this first layer on thin. And you can even dab it too. See, like that. But when you do that, it is going to have a little rough texture. Okay, that's my first layer. I'm going to go and put the blow dryer on it, and I won't be doing that on camera because it's noisy. And I will be putting 10 layers on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will be back and I'll show you what I do next. Before I put on her second layer, I wanted to mention this before I get going on this, is that I have the latex right here, the edge of it, and each layer that I put on, I'm going to bring the layer just a little bit back further, and I'm going to do that all the way up to where her hairline will be. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get that started. Now you see, now I dabbed that and it has a little rough texture, but that's okay. And you will be able to tell when it's dry because it won't be wet and it won't be sticky. But you really do want to make sure that it is completely dried. Okay, I'll just go ahead and I'll show you the second layer, what I meant about pulling it back. Okay, I've got a little bit on my sponge, and I'm just gonna put some of it up here because it's almost too much. Okay. Now when I say that I'm going to pull it back, I'm just going to go just a little bit back behind that line there. See, the thicker that you put it on, the longer it's going to take to dry. And I found that it works so much better when you do really, really thin layers. Just like that. On my fifth layer, I'm taking some gauze and I am going to place this over it and put some Mould Builder on top of this. This is just to reinforce it, and I just kind of felt like this might not be a bad idea, so we'll see. But I wanted to share that with you, and I've got 5 more layers to go. That is what it looks like before I dry it. I just wanted to show all of you, and I will continue with what I was doing. I have my 10 layers on, and what I did was I put an extra piece of gauze on the cap, so it actually has two. I started to peel away from the head, and it looks like I'm not going to have any problem. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off, but then I'm just going to let it set overnight, so that just in case, you know, some of the latex isn't quite dry like inside, I just feel to make it would be safer to just let it sit overnight. And I just want to show you how it's going to come off for me. And see, there's a little spot right there. And see, that was right there where the crown was. Remember when I said that I'd have to be really careful with that? So I will probably have to go back in there and just touch that up a little bit, because it does say that on the jar about having crevices and that. But that came off really nice. Really nice. Now, what I like about this is, compared to the other way that I was doing it with the stocking and the Elmer's glue, it's not stiff. It's very flexible. It's light. And I don't have hard like creases in it. Now I'll trim this all up, but I wanted to leave that on there until I am ready to felt the hair in and see if I might have to. No, there's the hairline right there. Okay. It feels really good. It feels dry. And it did not hurt the doll head. I didn't think it would. And I might not have had to soap that up. I don't know. But I did. And don't forget, you know, if you do soap it up, don't forget to rinse that off. Okay, everyone. The next step is going to be felting the hairs in. And that's the part that I hope that this is going to be strong enough. And I will be able to put it back on her head easily, which I think I'm going to. I don't think I'm going to have a problem with that. So you just pull that up down. Very nice. It says that you can put layers up to about like 15, but again, you want real thin layers. Don't go with the thick, because I can see how you would have a problem with it. Okay, everyone, I will be back on another day and we'll felt the hair.